A lot of clubs on campus. It's really given me a really broad perspective of how different groups on campus work. So I have a large network, and that's really important to me. I've been on campus a long time. To be able to access that amount of students of any faculty, any age, shows a really wide perspective. I've been the vice president of a club on campus before. I've been on other executive positions. And what that's given me the ability to do is to gain a lot of leadership skills, being in a lot of meetings and see how things work and how to actually get people motivated and to get people involved. So that's something I would say is really important, as well as given a lot of people skills, to be able to have a strong voice and to be convincing and confident in what you have to say, as well as listening. Because after all of that, you still need to listen to what you're trying to represent and the people around you, because it's not just you, and it's not just me in the health science thing, and that's other perspectives you want to bring to the front.
So like I mentioned in my introduction, I'm the vice president of the Geek Club. I've been in that position for a little over a year now. When we first took over the club, if it had 2 people show up to an event, it was a huge success. Now our meetings routinely have 30 plus people showing up to them. A lot of it is geek culture has been kind of downtrodden over the years, and we gave these people a place to go to meet friends, and give them some sort of representation, which has been great through the SU's generous donations to our club. As well as before I came to university, I was a volunteer for PDD, which is people with developmental disabilities. So giving people who otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to represent themselves in the most basic sense. So just getting equal rights for simple things that you and I would take for granted. And it's things like that that I feel give me an opportunity to learn how to take people's advice and help people to get representation.
Okay, I would say my main experience with working with a larger group would be when I was the main volunteer coordinator for the U of L Relay for Life last November, and I think that helps prepare me for this, because I had to rally a lot of students together for a really meaningful event. Sometimes it can be hard to convince people to come out for you're gonna stay up all night and volunteer, but you just have to bring enthusiasm to it, and I think if I can get that going, then by having a fun event, that'll be even easier to recruit for. So yeah, that's all.
My speech, I grew up on a ranch. I have a very agricultural background, and from a very young age I was in 4-H. It stands for Head, Heart, Health, and Hands, if anyone doesn't know that. It's a youth organization. I was a member for 9 years, and as part of that we had to serve in meetings and we had to follow Robert's Rules of Order. And then I was a leader for 5 years after that when I got too old to be a member. I've also volunteered on the executive committee for the Western Canadian Miniature Horse Club, which is all of Western Canada. I've also volunteered on the Light Horse Committee for the Calgary Stampede. Every year I help set up and run events, run the shows at the Stampede. I also volunteer at an organization called Aggie Days, which is also the Calgary Stampede, and it helps teach students who otherwise wouldn't know where their food comes from. Learn about agriculture, learn that chickens don't have brown eggs if they're brown chickens, stuff like that. Anyway, so I've had a lot of experience dealing with a lot of large groups and volunteering and helping people get organized and involved.
Hi, so this is my first year here, so I haven't had quite as extensive experience as others. But in high school, I was part of my grad committee, and I was the organizer of all the grad events. I volunteered with a lot of daycare programs, and I've been part of lots of sporting teams, and I've coached, been a team captain. Here at the university, I've tried to get involved with a lot of different things. So even though I'm in management, I'm part of the choir, I've been in the Spanish club, I'm also part of the advocacy committee. So I feel like I'm kind of getting a broad perspective of the school, and this will help me to see how to get things to relate together. And yeah, thanks.
For me, in high school, I was part of the wrestling team and choir, and I had to do a lot of coordination with that. I was one of the captains for our wrestling team, so I'm used to trying to get people motivated that. And I think a lot of enthusiasm is just a great motivator for getting people to do things. And if you talk and you're excited about something, inevitably somebody else is going to get excited and enthusiastic about something. And mostly it's just getting out there and talking to somebody. It's not even the organization part. Like you have to have that basis there, but it's the getting everybody involved and getting everybody excited about it that makes everything flow a lot smoother once you actually get the event going. So that's what I will be bringing
brings
to
to the table is the fact that I'm already an arts and science rep, so I think I know the position pretty well. As well as before I became one, I was volunteer of the year last year, so I was pretty used to getting people amped up and ready to go. I was also the volunteer coordinator for Fresh Fest. If you ever need enthusiasm, it's on Sunday morning trying to get people to take down the jamboree. So I think I'm pretty good for this job. Thanks.
As a political science student, we deal with a lot of organization, representation by numbers and through population. Also, I've done a lot of fundraising through basketball, paying for trips. I volunteered in From the Cola for about 5 years, so that's making food for a large group of people. So I think those things would help me, and that's what I bring to the table. Thanks.